50 hours.
I've got one time, that was here.
16 or 17. Yeah.
My wife's setting up the valley.
On that 240Z that I got in
Yeah.
15 years ago.
We were talking about that earlier.
To really break one down.
Hey Cindy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can see you.
Well, don't look at me.
Everybody looks good. Boardroom looks great.
Well, good.
Because you're not here.
I know. It helped things look a lot better.
We can't see you. Do you not have your camera on? We're talking, Philip. Oh, there you go.
Oh, there's, now you'll be quiet. Yeah.
I'm gonna mute myself so I don't say something crazy.
Well, that'll save us the trouble.
We will bring our regular meeting September the 20th, 2021 to order. Tim, would you lead us in our invocation?
Dear Lord, thank you for this day and all your many blessings, Lord. Just be with us, Lord, as we conduct county business, Lord. Let us do the things that you would have us to do and what would be best for our citizens of Avery County. Just watch over and take care of those that are sick. And with the COVID, Lord, just help this be eradicated from the earth, Lord. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Let us all stand and we'll say our pledge to our flag. Dennis, please.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have two commissioners that will not be here today, Blake Vance and Woody Hall Young. And our county manager, he's kindly having to stay put. His little grandson had the COVID this weekend, so he's got to stay in his office. All right, we'll move right along with our agenda. If there's anyone here that would like to speak to any agenda item, you need to sign up with Cindy up here on the sheet. All right, 3.2A, Proclamations and Awards, and we don't have any today. This meeting is going to be kindly short. It's not really like we do our first meeting of the month, and some things we won't be doing today. Do we have anyone that would like to speak in public comment? Do you have anyone that signed up, Cindy? All right. 3.2C, Board Appointees. The Avery County Fire Commission and Commissioners appointee. We have Scott Heath as one that the Fire Commission has appointed, and we looked over it last week, and it's now time to appoint. Do I hear a motion to appoint Scott Heath?
Move to appoint.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. We have another appointment, 3.22, Morris Library Board, Amy Regional Board, and Carrie Hall had applied, and we've looked over her application. Do I hear a motion to appoint?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, we're gonna let, Dean Harris come on and do your, thing, because we have a public hearing at 4 o'clock and it has to be exactly at 4.
Okay, all right. Thank you for having us here today, Commissioners, and our chairman is not here today, Sam Calvert. He had to go to the hospital Tuesday evening with pneumonia, RSV. But he's out now, he sends his regards, and he's trying to get better. Philip has already seen this. We showed most of this at the High Country RPO meetings back last month. So since he's not, I don't know whether he can see it or not. Okay, we made a similar report to y'all back in 2019. This is 3 years ago. Okay. Not working. I think I'm pressing the right button. That little arrow to the right, right?
I'll tell you what I can do for you.
Okay. Go forward. Okay, and back in 2019, we told you what the recent improvements were. We had just completed a reconstruction of the main runway, and we had rehabilitated our fuel farms and replaced 2 really old tanks, in-ground tanks, with 3 new ones that were double walled. And the reason we did that was we knew we were going to move them above ground, and if you get double wall, you can set them on top. You don't have to have them down where it contains spills and stuff like that. And Jack Riley Jack back here, oh, excuse me, let me introduce Jack Riley, Dempsey Clark, are authority board members also. So they'll help me answer questions that you might want. And anytime you have questions, please ask. And Jack made the integrated emergency plan. Okay, forward, please. And we told you about our future plans, which were for an apron expansion, a partial parallel taxiway, a terminal building, maintenance and repair hangar, an AWAS 3, a completed airport layout plan, and a new taxiway for additional hangars.
Do you folks know what AWAS is?
And I was going to ask that question.
Okay.
Jack, if you were doing one.
Airport Weather Observation Station. Service.
Right.
So what that does, it sits out there and remotely monitors the weather, and it reports it into the system and the FAA, and it also, when a pilot is coming in, they can click 2 times or 3 times?
3 times.
3 times.
But it gives the airport weather, which especially being in the mountains, you know, that's well, it's important everywhere, but in the mountains, it's even more important to know that, hey, I've got decent weather to get in there under visual flight rules, not under instrument flight.
So that's real-time information.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And we have a super AWAS out there right now, but we need a new AWAS, which you can see up here what we have had, and then show up to that right there. But we have done the apron expansion, We have done a partial parallel taxiway, and we have a completed airport layout plan. We still don't have an AWAS, and we still have a few things to do. Next. Okay, this shows the apron expansion under construction. Y'all can't see that, can you? The pointer's gonna work if you do. I'll try to show you here. Talked about the in-ground tanks. You can see right up here, the tanks were still put in ground. We have a pad up here we're gonna move them to. And all this new construction and for partial parallel taxiway and apron. Okay? All right, forward. Should I touch it or something?
Yeah.
Okay, forward. Okay, forward again. And here you can see where we've lifted the 3 tanks out and put them up on the new pad, and the apron is still under construction here. Okay, forward again.
Now, those fuel tanks, they're self-service. A pilot could pull up to them and use his credit card and fill up,
You go forward again.
go on about his way.
Look, I have one. Okay, this shows what the fuel farm looks like now. And MC was talking about the self-service. This is a credit card machine right here. And this is all secure, nobody can get in there. Okay, that shows Sam right there. He's out there all the time when he can be, you all know that. Okay, forward. And this shows, this is a picture of what that new partial parallel taxiway looks like. And what that does, it gives us entrance into the main runway at 2 points.
That keeps people from taxiing on the runway when they're getting ready to take off. And there's been a lot of collisions at other places just because of that.
So this will eliminate that happening.
Okay, this is a 2018 aerial photo. I brought this, put this in here so I can show you the differences, make it a little bit starker. See, this is the old in-ground tanks here and the old access to the runway. Where people have to taxi up and down the runway. Okay, next. This is a new, well, fairly new, about a month old aerial view of what's going on out here. You can see that all of this area right here, the apron expansion has been done. At the same time we had the apron expansion, we had some of the old taxiways milled and repaved also as a bonus. You can see how you have the new access to the runway. So there's quite a bit of difference there. Okay. Now, we still have our MRO and terminal building projects that we need. And Philip, can you hear me? Or maybe not. Philip was at one of the meetings at the High Country RPO, and Woody was at the other one. And we have put these 2 projects into the STI system. And the STI is a Strategic Transport Initiative. And it was a 6.0. We're asking for money from the state highway department or transportation department to get these 2 things done. You can see there, we're going to put in a new MRO hangar and a new terminal building, hopefully sometime. But to do that, we need to build a new MRO hangar first, then tear down our old hangar and put our terminal building where the old hangar was. And you see the cost of these, $1.7 million and $1.3 million, but that was 2 years ago. So that's
You all understand what MRO stands for?
maintenance and repair hangar. Okay. And so those costs are probably a lot more than that. And we had some bad news last time we presented, was that the state was putting a lot of projects off. So maybe not in the near future here on this stuff.
Are these, a lot of things on the STI is graded and then scored.
Right.
Are these part of that process where they're part of that gradation
Yes, sir.
scale?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. That's why we go and present
Right.
every time we
Yeah.
can to try to get support for it.
Exactly, because we face with the same thing with projects in the county,
Yeah.
you know, with things that we're trying to promote, you know, we hear often, you don't score high enough, you know,
Right, so you gotta get scored in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Okay, but, as we're getting all this done, we're doing it for several reasons, but, number one is increased economic impact we have on Avery County and, Mitchell County.
He's a spy.
Jobs, when we get the new, MRO and, terminal out there, we've been able to track, aircraft mechanics, instructors. By the way, Jack is an instructor. Fixed base operators and airport managers, tenants, we have a lot of people wanting hangars out there now. And we have, operations going on. There was, last week or earlier this week, there was, the National Guard was out there and also the state, police doing some operations out at the airport. Tourism, we get a lot of people coming in now. A lot of folks asking for cars. When they fly in, they want to go look around. As you know, there's a lot of people coming into the area. And, I said, we're attracting more permanent and part-time residents. And as we're continuing to work, we'll go ahead to the next one. We want to welcome more people to North Carolina and to our airport. That concludes what the update for. Do you have any questions on anything? I've got people to help me answer.
One of the things, it is the only public airport in the mountains. All the other ones, little airports at Runner Elk and at,
Elk River.
Elk River, they're all private airports. And so I still think we have a great advantage by being the only, and there's lots of training in the military that you need a mountain kind of atmosphere to train in even, and we get a lot, some of that.
We appreciate your time and your support.
Thank you, we
We thank
appreciate the
you.
information.
What size, I mean, this, I don't know nothing about flying, but what size planes can you land there? I mean, what's the biggest?
Go to the runway, et cetera.
It's 3,000 foot runway.
3,000 foot runway,
Okay.
and it's, the weight limits, it would take almost anything that can land on 3,000
Okay.
feet. And you could get twins and some small jets and stuff to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's an interesting thing, my niece has got some friends and they're from Brazil. And they were talking about wanting to fly up to our airport. And the AWOS was very important to them to look about. And we are going to be updating our website here in the near future. We do have a website, but it needs to be updated.
Well, I think to me, this is one of our real advantages that we have here, and totally, I'm 100% in support of the work that goes on, because I think it is tied to, just as Dean said, it is tied to the future development. I mean, the more that increases, the more potential we have for other increase, and the more we increase other places, the more potential we have for that. So they're very much tied together, and they're a very integral part of plans that we have and what the coming years are going to produce here.
Let's talk about a courtesy car for down there, but we're running into having someone available to do that, and we also have to get a hold harmless agreement prepared for anyone that uses that car to protect the county, everybody, what a hold harmless would be for everybody. And I have spoken to Philip about, maybe talking to our attorney or whoever, and come up with a hold harmless.
I noticed, it was down in Wilmington here, and, you know, they got those, scooters, you know, that you can just pick up and leave anywhere, you know, like a lot of the towns, which is great, except you're 20 miles from nowhere. You know, it'd be, kind of hard, I mean, unless you was going to, Sabelco or somewhere. But, you know, that is one of, I call it, like a lot of times, the location we have been that's so isolated prevents a lot of those public forms of transportation. You know, that's a very limiting factor with that.
I thought Dempsey might want to go into the rental car business.
Well, we actually did go over and talk to Enterprise about putting a substation down there. Of course, that was before all this construction was going on, but that still may be something, a possibility to think about. But I know at some point in time, we desperately need a car down there because people are flying, and what are they gonna do, walk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for coming, and I've been down and looked at the airport, and I said, boy, it's grown since I was down
Yeah,
here.
you should go down there now.
I did, last week.
Come on down, Jack, we'll take you for a ride.
Yeah, thank you. Jack took me once with Philip.
That was a good day.
Sure was.
You got to go up and I got not to.
All right, we still got some time. We'll ask our county manager, 3.4A. You've got 10 minutes, Philip.
10 minutes is hopefully all I'll need today, Miss Martha. So, first thing, I just want to do a little update on their housing grant with Community Development Block grant. We're finishing up our last project. We are planning to reapply for the new project, which is due on October 14th. And we have extended applications until this Friday, the 24th. So anyone listening or anyone in the room today that knows anyone that could use a home rehab or a home replacement in our county, please, those applications are online, or you can call my office or call Volunteer Avery and get an application. Also, DSS downstairs can help with an application for that next round of funding. After we visited the homes that we've got in so far, we're believing we've got 3 replacements and 1 rehab so far, so we can expand that application. So that's why we extended that 5 more days. So those need to be in by this Friday. Any new applications for that? So any questions from anyone on the Community Development Block Grant for the housing? And then Friday, I met with Skyline Skybest about the broadband. The little cards we passed out about a month ago, they've got all those points mapped on a map. They want to do another push to see make sure we've got all school children especially, or anyone in Avery County that does not have reliable and affordable internet in their home to get mapped on this map so they can make some decisions on where they need to focus their efforts. Of course, with the ARP money, we have had a workshop and we talked about, you know, that will be a priority. And I hope to hear from the state soon on the monies that they will be sending to the county to also help with the broadband. But right now, they're looking at 120 miles of fiber, and that is fiber to the home. Look for a push out on trying to get other people signed up so we can get their location mapped also if they are in need or underserved with broadband. So I know that is a big concern. So if there's any questions, feel free to call my office. Any questions from any of the commissioners on the broadband? Okay. I heard Friday afternoon that we did receive the Dogwood Trust grant for the asset inventory to help with our workforce housing in the county. That is a reward of $275,000 for this study. That will be for the entire Avery County and all the municipalities, water, sewer, and broadband, what we have as of a certain date as far as assets. And they say that this will help open up funding for other sources for workforce housing. So that's good news. I got a one sentence. We got the, we've been awarded. So next they'll send the paperwork and I will get that to Michelle, of course, and then to the commissioners to get that signed and they can start on that project. So that should be a good project also. Any questions on that one?
So they didn't give me any kind of timeline, did they?
I know they want to move quickly because they know with the ARP funds that are coming to the county that, we could possibly be wanting to spend some of those funds toward a workforce housing project. So I think it will be soon. So we were pleased to get that grant. And I have to again thank Phil True from High Country Council of Governments for the help with that grant. And I'll just remind everyone, we are part of that Freedom Life grant with Dogwood Trust also to help with our drug crisis in Avery County. So we hope to hear from that one. And also High Country Council of Governments helped with the trail grant with the North Carolina Parks and Recs. And we hope to hear from that trail grant in the near future also. So I will keep you posted as soon as I hear that if we receive or if we're declined on any of those grants. So, Ms. Martha, I think I did that in 5 minutes.
Well, we'll just move along and, we thank you. Now we know you can do it, so we're gonna hold you to it.
Gotcha.
All right. We'll move right along to our finance office, and I think he said he didn't have anything today. He's just visiting. Caleb Foley. All right.
He's storing it up, I know.
County Attorney report, do you have anything, Michelle?
I do not have anything that requires the board's attention.
All right. We have anything in closed session?
No.
Okay. We do have 2 sets of minutes, August the 2nd, 2021, and our regular meeting, August the 2nd, 2021 closed session. With those in our packet and read, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes as written?
Move to accept.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Well, we'll have to take a little break, about 3-minute break, and come back and we'll be ready for Debbie Smith to do hers. Yeah. Very quiet.
Trying to see if the light was on the coffee pot.
It is.
It is. I made some coffee. Yes, for sale.
Just so happens. Just happened to have a cup.
Yeah. So Marissa, is this?
Oh, yes, I was gonna introduce him after, but if we're gonna take a moment, this is our new staff writer, Neil.
Neil, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet all y'all.
Nice to meet you.
What's your last name?
What's that?
Your last name?
Falsey.
I can send him, send you his information, his phone and email, so that you can put him.
On the agenda.
Yeah.
And any notices. Do I send it to both you all?
Yeah, send it to both of us. I'll still be around for another month and a half, but after that I'll be at the Boone office, so I'll be running around here a little less, so.
Okay, well, welcome, Neil.
Thank you.
You were at a meeting,
Economic development.
economic development. I knew, pretty well, I thought I knew, but it's like,
Familiar
I
face.
slept since then, you know.
That one says not. but
Yeah, that's what I've been
says yes.
going by.
Oh, wow. We can't use these clocks synced, can we?
No, we can't. You got 4 o'clock, Michelle?
I got 4 o'clock.
All right. All right. We'll go back into our regular meeting, and we do have a public hearing regarding the FY 2023 Community Transportation Program and grant application. We'll turn that over to Debbie.
Hang on just a
Wait,
minute.
we've got to have a motion to go into our public hearing.
We move into the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Always glad to come in and talk about our transportation department. We have a very good department, and it's very appreciated by the public, and we can tell. So we do appreciate everything that's done by our commissioners and our county. So today we are asking for a FY 23 Community Transportation Program application package approval for our administrative and combined capital services. We use a lot of letters in this, but what we always call this grant is our 5311 CTP grant. So that if I mention that, that's what it is. One of the things that we work with the state on this grant, and I'll just read a little bit, very short paragraph, and if I miss words, excuse me, I forgot my reading glasses. The state, what they really set as our goals is to support general public transportation in rural North Carolina and provide a coordinated network, enhance access in rural areas to health care, shopping, education, employment, public services, and recreation. So we try to hit all those areas throughout the day, every day, most of the time. It's also to encourage the most efficient use of all transportation funds used by the state and to provide passengers transportation in rural areas in coordinated services through programs and services. So in a nutshell, that's basically what we work toward, making sure our people get the places they need to go. So for today, we are doing our application worksheet. The state has granted us $147,900. Our local share of that amount for our administrative application will be $22,185, which means state and federal amount is $125,715. That is a reduction from last year of $7,400 a little bit of change there. The state had set a 5-year budget, and this is our last year on that one, I think, for the reduction. So we're hoping this will be the last of those that we see. But in our application for administrative, it will cover the administrative salaries and fringes and our vehicle insurance for this year. That cut out a little bit for our, I think it was our advertising budget and the drug and alcohol, and we will ask the county to pick that part up when we get there. So, but that one is our admin worksheet. And then on our capital worksheet for this year, and let me just explain a little bit how the capital works. We have a chart that we get from the state that gives years of service of equipment. So we go by that chart every year and replace what needs to be replaced to keep our fleet and our offices in good working order. This year for our capital, all we have is one vehicle, and that is for our minibus to be replaced. It's a 2016. Mileage is over 100,000 on it now, and that's what the criteria is to get it replaced. We probably, right now, the plan is not to go back with the minibus. We're looking at just another one of the Ford Transits because in the area, it's easier to get to the areas we go with the smaller vehicle. So that is our plan for that. Plus, we'll have lettering logos to go with it. And we are asking for a local share to be met by the county. The amount on that is $29,274. That is with a total funding request for the administrative and operating of $218,755. And I will be asking 2 resolutions at the end of the public hearing. Do I need to go ahead and explain what those are now?
We'll do that when we go back over into the regular.
Also wanted to let everyone know that we have Title VI certificates on the table over to the left. If anyone would like to fill that out, we always try to leave that open at any meetings that we have. If anyone would like to indulge any information, we have those forms available. That's it. Do we have any questions from our commissioners or from the public that I could help with anything?
That local share, will that be the amount that's presented in our next budget cycle? This is for 2023, I understand, but this will be presented for the 22-23 budget,
Yes,
correct?
the 23 cycle, yes, sir.
Okay.
You have any more questions? Debbie's awful good about doing our tab meeting and stuff and getting everybody together and then informing us what she's gonna bring to the board. And we had that last week on Thursday, I believe it was, and
Yes.
We do this about the same thing every year. Maybe the figures will change, but it's about the same thing.
Next year for 24, we'll have several more vehicles coming in, so we can expect an increase depending on the mileage. Could hit 24, it could hit 25. But we do have one year that we get a lot of vehicles that we need at one time. Yeah, don't know why they came in like that, but yeah, it's like it's scary.
5 or 6 at one plant.
Uh-huh.
Well, you've warned us, so we can kindly sit on that.
Yeah.
Next year.
All right. If nobody else has anything, do I hear a motion to go out of our public hearing and go back into our regular meeting?
Move to go back out of public hearing, back into regular meeting.
Second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. We're in our regular meeting and we have 2 resolutions to adopt, and Debbie has already told us about them, so.
But, you wanna explain a little bit of that?
Let me explain a little bit about the first resolution that we have.
Okay.
Every 5-year cycle, the state asks that each county designate a public transportation agency to be the recipient of their 5311 grant. So the first resolution is basically to allow Avery County Transportation to receive that grant. And I can read that, it's a very short paragraph in here. North Carolina's coordinated approach to service delivery currently allows a single application within each designated service area. Section 5311 funding is only provided to a single subrecipient within each geographical area. Originally, the transit system service area for rural operations was established by the transportation plan. Basically, the state will implement the adoption of a governing board resolution that designates the single designated 5311 applicant on a 5-year cycle. The cycle is, 2018, 2023, 2028, and so forth. So that is what the first resolution is about. So we ask that you designate us as the recipients.
All right. Do I hear a motion that we adopt the public transportation, no, the other one, the 5311?
Yeah, designee certification.
Yeah.
form.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Cindy, you get an order of this, so we don't get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
The reason I'm doing the eye thing, it's hard for Dennis to get his arm up to vote. All right, and then we have the Public Transportation Program Resolution, FY 2023 resolution. That I hear a motion that we adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. Is that all you need now, Deb?
I think that's it. We got the local share covered, so I believe we're good. I did want to make an announcement while I'm here. We did receive an application for our FY 22 road funding, which we did not receive last year. We did get the CARES money that covered most of the cost of that road that we lost, but we do have that back this year. Filling out the application now, so I'll be asking for some signatures on that. ROAP stands for Rural Operating Assistance Program. This grant covers funding for it's called EDTAP, which is elderly and disabled. We have that. It also covers employment expenses for us to get people to jobs and looking for employment in the county. It covers our rural general public transportation, which gets most of our people to their medical appointments and picking up their food. So the total for this road grant will be $127,843,000. So we're thankful to get that this year. And And I think that's probably all I have, except thank you all very much for everything you do for transportation. We do appreciate it.
I will say that, and whenever we're in meetings with other counties, and we talk about transportation and all, for, when it comes to rural counties, especially up in our part of the world, we are exemplary in that capacity. And I just really want to commend you and all the people there, because it is, when I have people visit here, when I talk about our transportation, and they'll come from an urban area and say, we don't have that, you know. So I think that provides a tremendous service for people of this county, and we're happy to be a part of that, and I appreciate you and all the people that are there to do that.
You're very welcome on my behalf. I'm very humbled to be a part of that. It's, without the great crew that I have, it would not be possible, but they are an awesome bunch of individuals to work with. So, and so are you. We appreciate it.
Other commissioners, I already know it, but tell them that Jeremiah and Chris.
We did have our operations manager dispatcher leave us. He resigned, went to work with more compliable constituents. He went to the funeral home.
And you don't have to drive as far, I think.
He thinks it was a good move for him. We've spoken with him, and he seems to be doing really good. We actually promoted one of our full-time drivers to come into the operations manager dispatcher office. So Mr. Christopher Brewer Jr. is doing a wonderful job so far, which now means we have a driver position available. So if anybody knows anybody that needs to drive, send them to us.
Well, Jeremiah's still in transportation.
Yeah, one form or another. All right, thank you so much.
All right. I believe that's all we have for today, so 3.11. If I would like to hear somebody to adjourn.
Go ahead, brother. Your turn.
Move that we adjourn our meeting based on completion of all agenda items.
And I will second that nice adjournment.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you all.
Tom here to cut him off, please.